What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So that Purdue forward Mason Gillis, I said Shane Gillis, I think that's the name of a comedian nowadays, but yes, I meant Mason Gillis the other day, was considering Duke, but now it looks like he is officially transferring to Duke and foregoing the NBA draft as well. I thought he was a guard because of how good they were talking about his three-point shooting, but it looks like he's a forward, maybe like a bigger small forward, but more like a power forward around that range because of his height. But if he could shoot good like that and spread the court, that could be pretty good for them, especially if he is that good percentage-wise from there. So this looks like a pretty nice pickup for the Duke Blue Devils. I think they have a couple more roster spots to fill up, so we'll see what ends up happening over the next couple of days or so once this transfer portal is coming to an end next week. Then there was news that JJ Redick, who is obviously an analyst for ESPN right now, calling the NBA playoffs. I guess he's going to be interviewing for a head coaching job with the Charlotte Hornets. Now, this isn't his first time. I believe he also did something with the Toronto Raptors last year, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe another team as well. But yeah, this definitely looks like another job that he could be good for. It's kind of like a semi-homecoming because obviously Charlotte is in North Carolina, pretty close to Duke and Durham, but I just don't know if they have enough talent out there to be able to help him out in his first couple of years as a rookie coach. But I don't know, I kind of always thought he was doing that show with LeBron James because maybe LeBron was kind of doing like a semi-interview and feel him out process of if he can be his new head coach, because obviously Darvin Ham isn't cutting it out the past couple of seasons. But yeah, I just thought that maybe he could go for that job interview and stuff, but kind of hold out and kind of see if that Lakers job ends up becoming opening or not after this first round, because it definitely does not look like they're getting out of the first round. I'll get into that towards the end of the video. But speaking of the other two, the two more recent guys of Duke that are headed into the portal, Mark Mitchell and Jeremy Roach. Looks like Mark Mitchell is joining the Missouri Tigers. I believe he's from that state, Kansas City, or Kansas. Is it Kansas? And then Kansas City, or is Kansas City in Missouri? I don't freaking know. Either way, I guess it's somewhat of a homecoming for him as well. And then Jeremy Roach is headed to Baylor, which I heard he got a pretty nice bag for. He denies it, but I'm pretty sure he got quite a bit of money to go there. But either way, they're both on teams that most likely are not going to be on Duke's schedule next season in this fall, but hoping that we don't have to play against them, because if they went to like maybe Kentucky or one of the other ACC schools, then we most likely probably would have had to face them. But as of right now, it looks pretty good so far. And apparently the LA Chargers have met with one of my more favorite wide receivers in this draft from South Carolina, Xavier Legette. Kind of reminds me a bit more of like that Deebo Samuel-ish, not only because he's from South Carolina as well, but definitely helped you out. He's probably a little bit taller than him also, so people will probably compare him to Alshon Jeffrey, who's from there, but definitely like a bigger, solid, more type of wide receiver who could get out there and, bully his way to a couple of these catches instead of having to rely on crazy speed or anything like that, but he does have that too. So definitely excited to hear that the Chargers are looking into him. And then I believe there's a Georgia Tech running back of course lost my place, Dante Smith. Apparently he's getting some interest from the LA Chargers as well. Didn't really hear about this guy. I don't really see him on mock trades, but maybe this is another undrafted guy too that we should look out for when the end of the draft starts coming up. And they said the other day that it looks like the Lakers have secured the number 17 spot in the draft, which I'm kind of surprised because I thought your draft order was based on where you ended after your playoff run. Because obviously if they kept advancing, then shouldn't that draft pick go like way later in the first round? But I don't know, it says they secured it, so it looks like most likely the Pelicans aren't going to be switching with them because they will be pretty much in that same area since they finished one spot behind them in the seeding. So they'll just save that swap like picks for next year in the first round most likely. But either way, I'm assuming the Lakers are going to use this draft pick to trade and try to get another star on a team next season. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that was one of the few bright spots of Laker news that happened the past couple of days. And speaking of other Lakers stuff, yes, they did lose to the Denver Nuggets in Game 2, 99-101. It was a final shot. To me, it's not a game-winning shot because the game would have went into overtime if he missed it anyways. But Murray did get a nice little elbow push off to get some space to get that shot off. But they never seem to call it on the offensive guy. So I guess that's what ends up happening there. But yeah, Lakers were pretty pissed off, especially LeBron and Anthony Davis afterwards. And LeBron really wasn't complaining about the refs, technically, I guess, but more like the replay system and how it's being conducted, especially like with a team that's up in New Jersey that's supposed to help out these guys, make the correct calls. And then after those games last night, also with the Philadelphia 76ers and the Knicks, it looks like there were some mistakes made at the end of that game from the refs as well. So it's like, why even have that thing there if it's not going to help out in the end, especially now when it's the important games that actually count in the playoffs compared to during the regular season. I understand if they're working out the kinks back then, but now it's like, what then? Do you replay that in Game 3, the start of Game 3, and see what happens, and then they play in overtime to start that game? I don't know. That might be the more logical thing to do, I guess, but it's just better to get it right that first night. And I mean, yeah, the Lakers are to blame themselves because they did at one point have a 20-plus point lead. They're looking pretty good in that third quarter, and then of course, they just went cold because I think they only had 40-something points total in the second half, which was not good at all. Obviously, they didn't even eclipse over 100 points. But, yeah, these are the type of games that you got to get, especially in the playoffs and especially against a championship team like the Denver Nuggets. So, like I said, at some point they had to win one in Denver. I thought it was going to be last night, but apparently that just wasn't the case, sadly. So hopefully they're pissed off enough to, even the series back here in LA. I think they play Thursday. That'll be pretty interesting. But yeah, hoping for the best in that situation because it's not looking good so far. And I think there was some other news that was happening around there that it said that Darvin Ham, there's a report out there that the head coach would be returning to the team next season, which doesn't really look in favor of him as of right now, because if he gets swept again, 2 straight playoffs to the same team, this is even worse because it's in the first round compared to the Western Conference Finals last season. But I don't see any world that they bring him back, especially if he gets swept this season. So you better hope that they at least fight for a couple games for him to try to keep his job. But like I said, I would prefer someone like JJ Redick or someone else better that's a little bit more veteran as a head coach in the NBA to coach the Lakers as of right now. And you get some bit of good news where Jared Vanderbilt, their injured player, said, I think right before the game, that he plans to play in Game 3. Sadly, we probably could have used him in Game 2. Could have helped seal that win, probably. But yes, hoping that is enough firepower to help him out. Because, as I mentioned before in the last video, that Christian Wood would probably end up returning soon, too. I don't think he played at all in Game 2. So hopefully they are both returning back in LA when the series goes there. So looking forward to that. And then, yeah, I did do an off-season mock where I had the Lakers trading and getting Luke Kennard from Memphis and Steven Adams from Houston. Austin Reeves is going to the Houston Rockets, and Gabe Vincent and Maxwell Lewis to the Memphis Grizzlies. I just think this trade probably cannot happen, just because I know the Lakers will be like a second apron team or maybe a first apron team or something like that. So there's a lot of things where you can and cannot do when it comes to trades and how much money you bring in and all this stuff. So I just wanted to see what it could look like to get some type of better players like that, the type that they need, so which is better shooting and Kennard and a very tough guy you could play at the center position in Steven Adams, who's just going to do his job, play defense, get defensive rebounds, offensive rebounds, do whatever the dirty work is, do stuff like that. And plus, I don't even think he played for Houston this season because of an injury, but maybe he'll be ready to go next season. You never know. But yeah, if they don't go the star route, this could probably be what they end up doing. Yes, you do give up Reeves, but maybe you get back a draft pick too in the process. You never know for a guy like Reeves. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, pretty early mock draft when it comes to LA Lakers offseason, which hopefully does not happen anytime soon. Thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.